Welcome back to Southern Girl Cooks. So I had a request to make homemade biscuits. Shout out to William Carwell for making that request. It's really simple. It's not going to take us much time at all. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with an 8x8 pan. I've already sprayed my pan with some non-stick spray. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some butter. I have unsalted butter. I'm going to put 1 stick in the pan, and I'm going to stick this in the microwave for about a minute, and then I'm just going to watch it until it's fully melted. Okay, so now that we've melted our butter, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the butter to the side for just a moment. Now what I have here is some all-purpose flour. You want to make sure you use all-purpose, and the reason for that is you're also going to be using baking powder. So please don't use self-rising, use all-purpose flour, okay? Now, you're also going to use granulated sugar. So don't use confectioner's sugar or 10x sugar or brown sugar, use granulated sugar. Normally I say use what you have, but with biscuits you want to make sure that you're using the ingredients that you need to use. So what we're going to do is I have already measured out some flour. So I have the flour here. I also have just some table salt. So I'm going to throw that in there. I've got some baking powder. What's going on with my talking today? So don't use baking soda. You want to make sure you use baking powder. No, you cannot substitute. They act differently. Okay. So then we have our sugar. We're going to throw that in. Now we're just going to give that a nice little twirl. You don't have to go crazy mixing it, because the next step that we're going to do is we're actually going to sift these together. Okay, so what I have here is I have my sifter. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to throw all of these dry ingredients in the sifter, and we're going to sift them into the bowl underneath. You want to try to be as careful as you can to make sure you get everything in the sifter. But if a little bit goes down the side, don't freak out about it. It's not really that big of a deal. You do want to sift it to try to get it fine as you can. And I don't know, hopefully you can see how the sifted looks different from what's in there on top. Okay. If you compare how it looks in here before you sift it versus how it looks after you sift it, you can see it's much more fine after you sift it. So the next thing that we're going to do, guys, is we've got some buttermilk here. So it doesn't matter what brand you get, just make sure you check your expiration date. I've already measured out my buttermilk. I'm going to add that into my flour. Just going to stir it until we get it combined. If you're like me, I don't make a lot of recipes that call for buttermilk. So I'm always like, well, what am I going to do with this buttermilk? Don't throw it out. Buttermilk is expensive. There's something you can do with it. You can take and use it for your fried chicken. So you can marinate your fried chicken in your buttermilk overnight. And then the next morning you'll season it And I'm going to post a video for fried chicken. That's also a request I had. So I'll post a video for that and you'll see how I do my fried chicken. It looks like we're going to need just a little bit more moisture. So I would say if you run into that situation where your ingredients are still dry in areas and you don't have enough buttermilk, maybe go slow and add a tablespoon at a time. Okay, still got some dry ingredients here. Oop, that may have been more than a tablespoon. Okay, that's gonna get it. Okay, so now guys, what you have here is you have a doughy consistency or a doughy mixture. And guess what you're gonna do with this? All right, you remember that butter we melted? Let's introduce that back into the frame, okay? In my case, it's a frame. When you cook it, if you're not videoing or recording yourself, you'll just be putting it wherever you're cooking. Okay. That's pretty heavy, so I'm gonna have to put it down. Okay, so what you want to do is just spread that over. You can use your fingers, your hands are clean, it's okay. Now, I never said this was the healthiest recipe that we're going to do together, but it is yummy. I get comments, why are you putting your fingers in it and blah, blah, blah. It's mine, and that's what I want to do. In the words of Tabitha Brown, because that's my business. I'm just playing around with y'all. Okay, so you're going to spread it out as much as you can. The next thing you're going to do is score it. So I have a chopper. I just picked this up at Dollar Tree. Chopper, scraper, whatever you use it for. And I'm just going to score it. Ooh, that's not really that even, is it? Whoever gets biscuits on that side will be happy because they're pretty big. Some people call these swim biscuits, butter biscuits. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, we've already preheated our oven to 450 degrees. We're going to pop these in the oven for about 20-25 minutes, just until they're beautifully brown. And we're going to come out and try. Guys, guess what just finished in the oven? I'm not sure what that noise was I just made. But anyway, guys, aren't those biscuits beautiful? OMG. Ooh. Yes. You can see the sides of it. See all that butter baked in there, guys? Wow. Wow. Look at the bottom. So I baked this actually for about 19 minutes. See all that butter baked in there? Look at that. Woo. Okay, let's give it a try. OMG. If you show up with this, if you want to get married, this is the way to do it. Oh, wow. So you know what I'm thinking about with this? Some fried chicken with some honey on the side. If you want, you can drizzle some honey on top of the biscuits. You can make sandwiches with this. So maybe you want to do a ham, egg, and cheese, or just whatever you want to do. Or if you just want to eat a biscuit like I'm doing. Guys, these are amazing. I appreciate you watching. I can't stop eating it. I'll see you guys in my next video.